Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim, and today we are going to be deciding my August TBR. I really had no ideas for this month. I mean, the last few months I did like a summer theme. I did like book boxes, wanting to read some of the stuff from my book boxes. I don't even remember what are the things I do. I think continuing series, I did that recently. Yeah, and I just really had no ideas for this month. I've been in a weird reading mood lately. I mean, not weird isn't the right word. It's just that I've been struggling to read the books. I keep telling you guys I'm going to read the books I'm putting on my TBR. And I think that's because I'm like trying to fit them into something, if that makes sense. Like last month I did a summer TBR. So I was like looking for books that would fit that theme. And so I wasn't necessarily picking books I wasn't like, anticipating reading or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, I did an okay job. I didn't get to 2 of them though. And I think like the last few months, I think I've not read like at least 1 or 2 of the books I've said. And like, obviously it's fine, right? This is like a made up thing. Who cares? And I know you guys don't hold me to them, but like if I say I'm going to do something, I like to try to, but it's just like some books I just haven't been able to bring myself to read. And I've been very much in a romance mood lately. I've been reading very few fantasies. I think in the last like 2 months I've only read like 3 fantasy books, I think, or romanticities, whatever you want to call it. I've been very much in the romance. I've been very much into reading queer romance lately too. I've just been so much like just in a mood. I actually started like a cowboy romance that has been on my TBR for a little while the other day. And I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm 50% through, and whatever I pick for my TBR today is kind of decide if I finish it or not, I think. I don't know. It's just, I'm just not feeling it. I don't know what it is. And that's okay, right? And I said I was going to DNF books. Anyways, I'm just yapping. I've decided, since I have no idea what to read in August and I don't really know what to do for a theme, we are going to consult these cards again, which I think I did this some month earlier this year. March? I don't know. I think maybe March. So these all have just like different little prompts on them. You can't see that. You see that now? I don't know. So this one says a book about a marriage or a wedding. This one's like a popular book club pick. So this stack is more meant to be like fantasy romanticities, and this are like more just romance. I think I'm gonna pick 6 books. I need to read my book club's pick this month, so that's gonna be Magnolia Park. So I already know that I'm gonna be reading that this month. But I think I'll pick 6 other books with these. 6 has been a decent, I think, amount for me. Like those crazy months where I tried to do 10 were just a little bit too much. And not even because I couldn't read that many books, because I do tend to read about 12 books a month, but just reading those specific books and not leaving space for like random KU books. I almost thought about doing like all KU books this month, and like I don't know, maybe I still can, depending on what books I pick to fit these prompts, whatever I pick. But yeah, let's pick the 6 cards. Oops, one just flew away. Let's pick the 6 cards. I will let you guys watch me like shuffle them and everything and pick the 6 cards, and then I will probably have to sit and think about it for a little bit, and then I'll come back to you guys and I'll tell you the books that I picked. Okay, I brought you guys over to my desk because this is just easier. So let's shuffle these up a little bit. I don't know if I want to do 3 fantasy, 3 romance ones, just because I don't know if I'm going to want to read that much fantasy. Like I was telling you guys, I just haven't really been in a fantasy reading mood lately. So we might do 4 romance and then 2 fantasy. I did kind of feel like I almost got a fantasy bug. I saw a a recommendation on Instagram today, and I was like, it's for a fantasy series, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds really good, and I kind of was like, maybe I'll start that. So I don't know if I could fit it into these. I might. So let's just start with 2 fantasy cards, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'll just kind of lay them out, I guess, and pick 2 randomly. Let's see. We're going to do that one. And that one. Let's see what we got. A book about royalty. Oh, actually, that might actually fit that book I was just talking about. I don't know. And a book about a lost city or civilization. Oh, these are going to take some research. Okay, let's put those away, and let's do this with the romance ones, and we'll pick 4 of these. Like I said, I'll have to do some thinking. Think about it and see what I can get to fit these. Okay, let's pick 4 of these. We're gonna do that one. We'll do that one. That one. And I don't know, this one feels good. Oh, we're getting historical romance, which is actually good because I'm not a huge fan of historical romance. Okay, a slow burn romance, a holiday romance, a young adult romance. Oh, I actually don't love that, but it's okay. And a romance book on your TBR that you've been avoiding. Okay. So we have those 4, and then we have a book about a lost city or civilization and a book about royalty. So let me, you guys tell, I'm not excited about this one or this one. I mean, I think maybe, I don't know. I will talk about it. Let me go do some research, and I will pick books to fit these, and we'll talk about them. Okay. That took me a little while, and I may have switched one card. As you guys saw, I picked, for the 2 fantasy ones, I picked like a book about royalty, and I think the other one was like a book about like a lost civilization or something like that. I couldn't find a book that like fit that category that was like really like interesting me. So I did pick a different card. I ended up picking a book that takes place in another world instead, which I'm really excited about because I was able to fit a book I just came across recently that I want to read. So let's go through these. A young adult romance. I know I said I really wasn't that excited about this because I just don't read a lot of young adult anymore. Not that I don't think that there's great young adult books out there, and not that I haven't read great young adult books, but I just prefer my characters to be older. I feel a little weird reading about, because typically young adult, not always, but it's going to be about younger characters. Maybe always, I don't know. Always for me. And I just prefer to read about older characters. But I went ahead and picked Check and Mate by Ellie Hazelwood because I think it's pretty much, I think I have like 2 young adult romance books on my shelf that I haven't read. And this is one of them. I know it's young adult. We'll see how this goes. I have now put Ellie Hazelwood's books on my TBR. This will be the 3rd time. Well, technically 4 times this year. But the only one I actually finished was Not in Love, which I think I had on my TBR for like February or March or something like that. I had Deepened on, I think, my May TBR, and I never read it, and I still haven't read it. And I had Problematic Summer Romance on my TBR last month, and I didn't read that. So, 3rd time's a charm for Ellie Hazelwood. We'll see. I don't know anything about this book, and I probably just going to leave it like that. I'm assuming it's about chess. Yeah, I think it's basically, about a girl who, they play chess. I don't know. I think she did, like, I don't know, from what I read, it kind of seems like she didn't want anything to do with chess again, but she plays again and then does really well. Obviously, there's a romance aspect. She plays, I guess, I think develops the thing for one of the guys she plays against. I don't know. You know, keep it vague for myself. And I've heard really good things about it, so it's been on my shelves for a while, so let's get it read. Next one's the holiday romance. I don't know. This one might be fudging it a little bit because it's, you know, it's August. I mean, I could have read a Christmas book. There's not a whole lot of other holiday-esque books. I mean, I probably could have found like Halloween one, or I do actually have one on my shelf that's like St. Patrick's Day, but I like Googled and this book popped up and I was like, okay, perfect, because it's by Rachel Reed. And if you've been around here the last couple months, like wrap-ups, I have been raving about Rachel Reed's Game Changer series, and I know she does have a few other hockey romance books, so I picked Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. This is a hockey male romance, but it also mentioned Christmas in the description. It kind of seems like it's kind of maybe like a grump sunshine. That's the vibes I got from reading about it. You have Landon, who's like brought up from a farms team to be like a backup goalie, and Casey's like one of the star players on the team. Landon is a very like standoffish character, kind of like gives, you know, don't talk to me vibes, but Casey wants to get to know him, and he offers him to a place to stay at his house because he has a big house, he has a lot of space, and Landon needs somewhere to stay, and it kind of seems like they spend the holidays together. That is where the holiday aspect of the book comes in, and you know, it seems like their romance probably blossoms from there. I'm excited to read this because like I said, I love Rachel Reed's other books, and this one's also highly rated, so I mean, I plan to read all her books. I don't think she has that many other than the Game Changer series, but I could be wrong. But I see this one a lot. I've seen it at Barnes & Noble before, I think, actually, and I've been tempted to read it for a while, so I'll get to read it this month for a holiday romance. Okay, next is I'm gonna keep, okay, a romance book that's been on your TBR that you've been avoiding. Okay, this might be dumb of me, but I was like debating on this one. I thought about maybe doing Pucking Around by Emily Rath, because that has been on my TBR for a long time, and I avoid that one because it's long. It's like a 700-page romance book, and I think I've talked about it before. Like when romance books get over like 400 pages, maybe 450, I start to be like, does it really need to be that long? And it makes me feel like maybe there's just a lot of fluff, like maybe like an excessive amount of spice. And look, I love my spice in my romance books, okay, but like I like it to be, you know, I don't know, it's when it's just like spice. Sometimes I feel like these books like that get like that. I mean, every now and again I'm all down for reading that. I actually just read like a group of novellas that was like probably 80%, if not like 85% spice, and look, I was just in that mood, so I was like down for it. But it was short. It was like 400 pages. It was like, I think it was 4 or 5 little novellas put together into like a 400-page book. It had like it did have a like little bit of a plot, so you know, there was enough there to keep me interested. So I'm like all for space, but like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes these books I feel like just there's a little bit too much, and I don't know, that might not be true for that book. That might, maybe it's all substance in that 700 pages, but anyways, I didn't pick that one anyway. So I ended up picking Mixed Signals again. I'm so determined to finish the series. I had this on my TBR, I think for April? Was it April? I think so. Or, I don't know. It was on one of my TBRs earlier this year. And as you can see, I got about, I think 110 pages in or something. And then I soft DNF'd it because it was just like, I don't know. It just wasn't doing anything for me in that time. And I'm not going to say it was bad or anything. It just, I don't know. It just wasn't. This is like a Friends to Lovers book. And it's part of a 4-book series. I've read 2 of the books, and I really want to read the last book because I've heard people talk about the last book being the best of the series, and I just feel like I need to get through this to get to that. So And these have been on my TV for a long time. Obviously, I've been avoiding it because I already did try starting it once and put it down. So I thought, you know what? Perfect time to try again. And if I can't get through it this time, it's going to be officially DNF'd. But I did say I was going to soft DNF it last time, and I do think I can come. I do think I can enjoy this book. Is it going to be, you know, a 5-star read? No. I mean, obviously, if it were, I would have finished it. But I think it could be a solid 3.5, if I can get through it. Like I said, it wasn't bad when I read it. It was just, I just don't think I was in the mood. I was just not in the mood then. And then I just read First Time Caller by B.K. Borison last month, or the month before. I don't know. Months are just like, I think 2 months ago. I think I read it in June. And I really, really liked that book. So I kind of like, I don't know, maybe renewed my faith in her writing. Maybe it was just like I said, maybe it was me in that moment. So we are going to reattempt Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison so that maybe I can finally finish the series. And the last book, or last card I picked for the romance books was a slow burn romance. Slow burn romance. Can I even talk? Apparently not. And I picked, I don't have it, a book called Where There's a Will by Jessie Walker. This is part of a 2-book duet called The Lost Boys Duet. This was recommended to me by Alice Reeds on Instagram. I chatted with her a little bit over, she's very much into like male romances. She recommends a lot of male romances, and I've been loving male romances lately, and other like queer romance stories. And she told me this is like a god tier book for her. So I put it right on my TBR, and I've been wanting to read it anyways. And it fits the category of slow burn. It's also like a second chance as far as I know. I don't know. I did not want to know much about it. I just want to like go off her recommendation. That's god tier level. I know it's like a more from a glance at the descripting words on Goodreads. It's supposed to be like in a very emotional, like driven read, so with like darker themes and stuff like that. So I am definitely gonna read this one, and if I love it enough, if it has got tier level for me as well as it is for her, I will probably end up reading the second book and the duet this month as well. That one's called If There's a Way, so we'll see. So I might end up reading both, but the first book fits the slow burn category. Okay, and so then the last 2 books we have are for the fantasy books I picked, and one I picked was a book about royalty, and another book that has recently made it onto my TBR because I see so many people talk about it as one of like the top fantasy books, which is like a genre I wanted to start getting into. I read a lot of male romance, contemporary romance, but I know there's a lot of good male fantasy romances out there. And this one is highly recommended. It's called Captive Prince. This is a trilogy. I want to read all of them if I love this one, but I just picked up this one recently when Barnes & Noble had like a buy one get one half off on romance books. I saw this was part of it, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick that one up because I know I want to read it. I also don't know a whole lot about this. All I know is that there's like a character, Damien, who is like the heir to the throne of his like kingdom or whatever, but like something happens and his stepbrother like takes over his role and like sells him to like a rival prince to be a pleasure slave. And that's all I really know. And I've heard people rave about it, so I'm very excited to read it. And if I love it, I will probably be running to buy the other 2 books so I can finish that trilogy maybe this month as well. Okay, and then I told you guys earlier I cheated a little bit. Don't be mad at me. And I decided not to do a book about lost civilization, and I picked a book that takes place in another world. And I'm very excited because I just recently literally just put this book on my TBR, I think like yesterday or the day before, because me, like many people in the world right now, I am like completely and utterly obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters. That movie and the soundtrack especially has a literal chokehold on my life. It's basically my new personality, okay? I watched the movie for the first time like this last week, and I've already watched it 2 other times. And I've probably listened to the soundtrack like at least 4 to 5 times every day. Yeah, it's, you know, is it a problem? I don't know. It's not hurting anyone, so no. But anyways, I saw that Fairy Loot posted like this thing, like books based off like your, like books you might like if based off like your favorite characters from K-pop Demon Hunters, and there were a few on there that I'm like probably gonna like look into more and maybe see if I want to read them. But of course I had to look up the ones that they had listed for Jinyu, and one of them was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. And this book, so this book really intrigued me because not only because of that, right? So I'm hoping there's a character that gives his vibes in this book, but also because the book is like talks about being for fans of like Spirited Away and Miyazaki, and I am also a huge Miyazaki fan. If you didn't know, the tattoo, if the tattoo didn't give it away. So I'm very, very excited to read this. I didn't like read too much about it. Basically what I got was I think our main female character's name is Mina, and she lives in this place where like this like sea god like ruled over, and I guess like they believe like he's like cursed them now. So I think it said like every year they like sacrifice a girl from the village like to the sea god, because he's like looking for his proper bride, and they hope that every year it's like gonna be the right bride, I guess. And the most beautiful girl in the village, they're gonna pick her that year, but it's like her brother's lover, and so Mina like sacrifices herself to like to the sea god instead. And then like she goes into this other world, which why this fits this prompt of what is the prompt? A book in another world. She goes to like the spirit world, and yeah, and I guess like humans can't like survive there very long, so she's gotta, I don't know, figure out this curse or whatever, why she's there. But yeah, so that's all I really know about the book. It sounds very intriguing. I'm like really excited to read this one, and I'm glad that that was the other card I picked because I was able to fit this in with that. And yeah, hopefully it will give me it will like satisfy some of that, you know, K-pop Demon Hunter vibes for me. Because like I said, literal chokehold on my life right now that movie has. So that's it. Those are the 6 books I am going to attempt to read in the month of August. We have 4 romances and 2 romanticities. I'm actually very, very excited about all the books I picked out. I'm like, I think this is the most excited I've been about a TBR, like a full TBR, for a while. I'm a little nervous about the mixed signals. I'm really hoping I enjoy it better this time. And I'm a little nervous about the Alley's Wood anyways, but they're shorter books, so I think we'll be okay. I think that maybe this might be the first month in a while that I actually get through all 6 books that I picked, but we'll see. We will see. But yeah, I am very excited. I think I might DNF that book I was reading and start one of these tonight. Not too sure which one, but one of them. But yeah, I hope you liked this. Let me know in the comments what you're planning to read in the month of August, if you've read any of these and if you liked any of them, or if you want to maybe read any of these this month with me. That would be cool, and you can let me know what you think. But yeah, I hope you liked this. If you did, I would love it if you liked, commented, and subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.